From the heart of Philly, this is CBS News Philadelphia. A well-known barber in West Oak Lane is killed in a hit-and-run. The clues that police have as they search for the driver.
And cracking down on crime, the new tool that will soon help New Jersey State Police track down wanted criminals in the Garden State.
It's next weather alert day. It's warm, windy, and wet. Kate is tracking when we can expect the worst of this system to move through. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the news at 7, streaming on CBS News Philadelphia and on Philly 57. I'm Jim Donovan.
And I'm Janelle Burrell. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to start with that next weather forecast. Meteorologist Kate Bilo has the details. You know, Kate, out of habit, I grabbed my winter coat. Did not need the heavy coat this morning.
No, you don't need it this morning. That is the only good thing about today, Janelle and Jim, basically, is the warmth. It is warm. It feels like spring, but you're not going to get much time to get outside, unfortunately, and enjoy these mild temperatures because the entire day is leading up to the arrival and passage of a strong cold front, which is going to come through later this afternoon and evening. The front is all the way back here, much colder air wrapping in behind it, but out ahead of it, we've got rounds of showers that we're dealing with all day long, and you can see lightning and thunder with this complex here up over the New York-Pennsylvania border. Haven't seen quite as much of that here, at least locally, but we are seeing scattered showers fill in across the region this morning. We'll have to watch some steadier rain moving in through mid-morning, but again, the front doesn't even come through until about 6, 7 o'clock tonight. So in the meantime, we're just waiting for it, and things are going to get worse as the day goes on. Rain picks up in intensity, wind will pick up in intensity. You've got a slow go out there with everything damp and dreary. Again, the only good news is that you can leave the heavy coat at home. You need the rain gear, grab something waterproof, but look how warm it is. Temperatures are in the mid-50s this morning, 61 down in Dover, and we've got 70s in spots like Nashville. But look at the difference. You can very clearly see where the cold front is. It's 60 in Cincinnati. It's 27 in Chicago. It's 5 in Minneapolis. Cold air surging in behind this front, and it is going to be a quick change. It is going to feel completely different at 7 p.m. than it will at 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Sharply colder after this front comes through. But the worst of the weather is later this afternoon between about 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. The wind picks up, the rain picks up, even a few gusty thunderstorms. So while it is warm, again, you will need the rain gear and need to pack your patience as well. It's going to be a slow evening commute, and that's why we have issued this next weather alert day. Coming up, I'll walk you through it hour by hour, and we'll talk about the chilly change that follows for our leap day, February 29th, tomorrow. Chandler, I'll send it over to you. How are things looking out there?
Well, Kate, at least the morning commute looking a bit better than what sounds like our evening commute. We just have the damp conditions on the roadways. You might have to flick on the windshield wipers depending on where you're traveling. We're still talking about this crash, though, as you travel Christiana, Delaware. The 95 northbound, that off-ramp that gets you to Route 1, exit 4, partially blocked here. Now they've moved all activity to partially block the right lane, and the right shoulder there was previously in the median area and blocking the left lane. So all activity off to the shoulder, partially blocking the lane, but the ramp is still getting by. No restrictions on 95 northbound, but just be extra careful. You're going to see this activity traveling through Christiana. In Newcastle County, Kirkwood Highway, now it's just the eastbound lanes. Previously we had eastbound and westbound closed. Now it's just eastbound right at Route 7, still closed off, still a lot of alternates available to you. But again, traveling eastbound, all lanes are still closed. Westbound, we've been able to reopen. Delaware Memorial Bridge construction is making your way southbound into Delaware. Jim, one lane is blocked.
Thank you, Chandler. We continue to follow breaking news this morning. A man is dead after being hit by a driver in Philadelphia.
Now this morning, the search for that driver continues. More now from CBS News Philadelphia's Ross DiMattei joining us in the studio. This is heartbreaking for this family. Ross, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, just a horrible story. Police still have not released the name of the man who was hit and killed, but friends and family were able to identify him at the scene, and they tell us that he was a beloved barber who worked just down the street from where he was hit. This hit and run happened just after 11 o'clock last night. Police and paramedics responding to 911 calls about a vehicle hitting a person on the 7900 block of Ogons Avenue in West Oak Lane. When they got there, they found a 46-year-old man lying unresponsive in the middle of the road. He was suffering from severe head trauma. He was pronounced dead just minutes later at 11:18. With help from witnesses, police painted a really gruesome picture of just how hard this man was hit while he was trying to cross the street.
It appears to go at a high rate of speed when that vehicle did strike the victim. And you can see the victim's body being dragged at least 30 or 40 feet in a northbound direction. He was hit with such force, he was knocked out of his footwear.
Yeah, horrific scene. According to one witness who is friends with the victim, the driver traveled about 100 to 200 feet after hitting the pedestrian, stopped the vehicle, got out of it, then looked back at the victim before getting back in their car and leaving the scene. Fortunately, police say there are a lot of cameras in that area. They've already seen multiple angles of this incident, so they're pretty confident they'll be able to catch the driver responsible. That said, detectives are having a bit of trouble identifying the exact make and model of the vehicle that hit this man, but based on what witnesses saw and some debris that was left behind at the scene, they do believe it is a light-colored sedan, most likely white, with some damage to the front end of the driver's side. If you have any information about this hit and run, you should call Philadelphia police. Janelle, back to you.
All right, let's hope investigators are able to track that person down. Ross, thank you so much for that. Meanwhile, police have arrested 2 men in connection with the deadly shooting of a woman in South Philadelphia. This happened just before 7 o'clock last night on the 2300 block of South Marshall Street. That's near Wolf Street. Police say the 31-year-old woman was shot in the head and killed, and they say the suspects were caught shortly after the shooting during a foot chase. We're told the woman was assaulted a week ago, and now investigators are trying to determine if the two incidents are related. U.S. Marshals joining the search for an escaped prisoner in Philadelphia after he was seen in West Philly yesterday. This is Aleem Borden making a run for it. This is on Monday morning. You see his hands cuffed behind his back. Police say the 29-year-old broke free while being discharged from Temple University Hospital's Episcopal campus in Kensington. Investigators say Borden was arrested or had been under arrest for driving a stolen car. If you know where he may be, contact and call 911. And we are expecting an update today from the Delaware County District Attorney about last month's shooting and house fire that killed 6 members of a family in East Lansdowne. 2 police officers were also shot while responding to that call. Investigators believe 43-year-old Con Lee killed his brother, his brother's wife, and their 3 children. Conley also died in that incident. You can see the news conference streaming live right here on CBS News Philadelphia. It's scheduled to start at 11 this morning.
Evesham police have released new surveillance video after a gun shop was burglarized in Marlton. The thieves used a rock to smash the door of Urban Tactical Firearms. This is on Route 70 at around 2:30 Monday morning. Once inside the building, police say they smashed the counters and made off with 5 guns and ammunition. The burglars left the scene in a white Hyundai that police believe was stolen.
We'd like to identify this group and recover those firearms before they're used to hurt or injure an innocent person.
Evesham police say similar burglaries have happened across Pennsylvania. They're working now to determine if they're possibly connected. New Jersey State Police are adding license plate readers to the Delaware River Port Authority bridges as an effort to help fight crime. These cameras will be installed on the Ben Franklin, Walt Whitman, Betsy Ross, and Commodore Barry bridges. Officials say the new cameras are intended to help law enforcement track cars connected to suspected crimes. Last month, DRPA board members voted to allow the installation under a 10-year agreement.
To calm people's fears about that big brother perspective, it's certainly not that. But people that have committed major, felonies, murders, things of that nature, kidnappings, those are the types of things where these LPRs will be useful and be utilized for investigative purposes.
The cameras will be operated and maintained by New Jersey State Police. Installation is expected to take place by late spring or early summer.
Well, the Philadelphia Health Department says a recent measles outbreak is officially over. A total of 9 people tested positive for the highly contagious virus. All have since recovered. It all started with a young patient at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and later spread to a West Philadelphia daycare. 6 weeks have now passed since the last new case, so officials say the outbreak is now over. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia daycare and school says it is dealing with a large drop in attendance because of kids getting sick, kids and teachers. The KO-12 school in Center City says between COVID and the stomach flu, teachers and students have been out sick. Doctors say it's prime norovirus season and the stomach bug has been making the rounds. The Pay Per Day Education Center says that it has been taking a hit.
Business-wise, of course, it's difficult because we've had so many kids out sick and we don't recoup them that money for the day that we're giving back to them. So, as far as being a small business, we're doing it because it's the right thing to do and it's healthier and it's better for our families.
Doctors say the best thing you can do to prevent your family from getting the virus is to wash your hands with soap and water frequently.
The South Jersey School District is easing its crackdown on computer time after school. Last week, the Deptford Township School District announced its plan to lock students out of their school-issued laptops at night because the district says some students were using their computers well after midnight. Well, now they've made adjustments to help students get their work done on time. For elementary school students, computers will shut down from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Middle school students won't be able to access their computers between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. High schoolers have until 11:30 every night to finish any work on their laptops. The updated times give students an additional hour on their computers. These changes, by the way, go into effect on Friday.